spent so long in the darkness, I'd almost forgotten how beautiful the moonlight is.
What's going on, y'all? So, as you know, October is here, and October is one of my favorite months of the year. The stretch from October to December is like my absolute favorite time of year. And one thing that I really wanted to do I don't want to use the word celebrate, but I'm going to say celebrate, but to really, like get into the spirit of Halloween is kind of outline some Halloween movies. And so the one that I've chosen to outline today is Corpse Bride. Y'all, this is one of my absolute favorite movies. And it came out in 2005. But honest to God, I would probably classify it as a classic. I really would. So, the description of Corpse Bride on Amazon Prime reads Tim Burton presents a stop motion animation of a young man who is whisked away to the underworld and wed to a mysterious corpse bride while his real bride waits in the land of the living. That is truly like I love that description. It just sounds so good. It really sets up what the movie is. And I feel like if you read that description and you don't want to watch the movie, I don't know what to tell you because I just feel like it's a lot of fun, and I feel like it's got that mystery to it to where you want to know, okay, how is he married to this woman, but he's also got a bride that's in the land of the living. I love that description so much. Okay, so if you've never seen Corpse Bride before, it's about a young man named Victor Van Dort. His family, they're the nouveau rich, they're fishmongers, and they've set up an arranged marriage between him and Victoria Everglot, who is the daughter of like a very prestigious family, a very old family. Everyone knows them. They are the cream of the crop. And Victor's parents are excited to, marry into this family. The Everglots are not necessarily as excited because they see this opportunity as just to get money. They don't, they're not happy about the fact that this nouveau rich family is about to, marry their daughter. They are land rich, but they have absolutely no cash. And so they're going to use her dowry to basically get them to where they want to be. And so Victor and Victoria, her name is Victoria Everglot, they meet, and they meet at their rehearsal for their wedding. And Victor cannot get his vows right. He can't get his vows right. So he goes into the woods and he's practicing, and he puts the ring on what he thinks is just a tree branch, but it's actually a skeleton. And so when he puts the ring on the skeleton, she rises up out of the ground and is like, I do. She thinks that they're married now. Her name is Emily. And Emily is so sweet. She's such a sweetheart. And she just is excited to be with him. She's excited to be married, and she takes him down to the underworld. And Victor is horrified. He does not want to be there. He just wants to go home. And they find a way to do like a haunting spell, and they go up there. He lets Victoria know what's going on. And then Emily gets jealous and takes him back down there. There's really nothing that Victoria can do. And from there, I don't want to spoil the rest of the movie because the rest of it, I think, is a good little twist. You kind of see it coming a little bit, but I do think that it's a good twist. And I have watched this movie, I am telling you, on repeat for years. When October comes, you can rest assured that I'm going to be watching this movie in some shape, form, or fashion. Not to get you 10, like I said, I'm going to have it on repeat. I used to have the DVD, and I would just like play the DVD, and I would just keep it going for hours. And I would listen to the music because the music in the movie is good. I really think it's a good score. I think it tells the story of the characters. I think it gives them a viewpoint. It lets you get the feel for what you're supposed to be watching in that scene. Sometimes the music can kind of be a disconnect, but I think for Corpse Bride, every song really gives you insight into what the characters are thinking, how they're feeling, and I just love it. I could sit there and sing those songs all day long. So, just to talk a little bit about some of my favorite things about the movie, one of my absolute favorite things is the theme behind it about moving too fast and how you can make a decision and it can have lasting consequences. And sometimes you just have to learn how to let go. Emily is really the catalyst for this revelation. Emily is really the one where we learn that you can't hold on to things because Emily is so excited that she's finally married. She feels like she's finally out of the darkness and she finally has someone that she loves and that loves her. And what we see is Emily go on this journey of accepting the fact that her life is over. Her life has ended and she has to find peace and solace in that. And I just love it because what gets Emily to that point, again, I'm not going to give you too much. I don't want to spoil the movie for you. I know it's a, 18-year-old movie, but I still don't want to spoil it for you. What gets her to that point reflects that you can't be hasty. It reflects that you can't make a decision based solely off of emotion and not put any thought into it. But I do want to add in there that what happened to Emily is not her fault. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that Emily deserved what happened to her. What I'm saying is that Emily made a choice and a decision, and unfortunately, it just so happened to be the wrong decision. Another way that I think this movie really does excel are the side characters. Y'all, when I tell you that the side characters in this movie are so funny, some of my favorite side characters are Victoria's parents. Oh my God. I know his name is Phineas, one of the two, but I can't remember the mom's name. And when I tell you they are so hilarious, there's one part of the movie, and I get tickled every time, where the mom is talking to Victoria's like maid helper, and she's like, tighten her corsets. I can hear her speak without gasping. And when I tell you the first time that I heard that line, I screamed out loud, and I do not know why. And there's another part where Victoria is talking to her parents and she's like, surely you must love each other a little. And she's like, and the parents are like, do you think your father and I love each other or like each other? And she's like, surely you must a little. And she's like, they look at each other and they're like, no. And it is so funny. I think they're funny. I don't like Victor's parents quite as much, I hate to say, and I don't know why. I don't know if it's because they're not as like deliciously evil, quote unquote, as Victoria's parents, but I mean his parents are okay. I think that Emily's friends, because she's friends with a maggot and she's friends with a spider, and then the people that are down there in the underworld, I think they really take the cake. I think those are the characters that I'm talking about when I say that the side characters are just hilarious. That's one of my favorite parts of the whole thing is watching them and the shenanigans and just the things that they say, Elder Goodnick and all of that. Like it's so funny, and I think that's what makes the movie good. Is that they have a good ensemble. There's really good voice acting in the movie. Emily is voiced by Helena Bonham Carter. And I want to say Victor is voiced by Johnny Depp, but I'm not 100% sure. Yes, I had to fact check it. I had to fact check myself. Um, Victor is voiced by Johnny Depp, and they always have good chemistry in anything that they do. I just and Tracy Ullman voices Victor's mother, which that's the only, I knew there was a reason that I would laugh at what his mama would say, but I couldn't quite figure out what it is. But I love Tracy Ullman. If you don't know that, well, of course you wouldn't know that because I've never told you. But I absolutely adore Tracy Ullman. I think that she is hilarious. I think she does I think she's just comedic gold, and she just knows when to hit a punchline. She knows what to say, how to say it. I just love her to death. And then, fun fact, Joanna Lumley plays Victoria's mother, and she was in a show called Absolutely Fabulous, and it's an English show, British show, and the humor, a lot of people love it. They love that character, they love her, and I've watched the show, and I do think that they're funny. I really do. I think that the show is funny. It's just not, I love British humor, but it's just not my cup of tea for some reason, and I don't know why. But that's okay, because not everything has to be everybody's cup of tea. Okay, so now that we've talked about my favorite thing about the movie, I think it's time to get into my favorite character. And when we talk about favorite characters, I think that Emily takes she's taking it. Emily is my absolute favorite character in this movie, and I think that it's because she has such a strong viewpoint, and I can relate to that kind of desperation for love. And I hate to say that, but that need to feel loved, that need to feel wanted. And Emily's story is so sad. And you feel bad for her throughout the movie because Victor doesn't love her, but she's convinced herself that he does. And you watch her come to the realization Victor doesn't love her the way that she thinks that he does. Even when he says that he wants to be with her, you know that he's doing it out of duty rather than out of love. And I think another thing that's very relatable about Emily is how hard it is for her to let go. Because, Emily is aware that she's not alive anymore, but she's still holding on to that need for love and that need to be wanted, and she's constantly looking for it. And I think that that's something that's universal, is having a hard time letting go of the past, having a hard time letting go of what was and embracing the future, because the future is scary and you don't know what it holds. And that's why I think Emily's ending in the story is so impactful. Again, like I said, I'm not gonna ruin it for you, but her ending is very, very impactful, I think, especially because we've been on this roller coaster ride with her through most of the movie. And she really shows us that even when you know that it's time to go, sometimes you just can't. Sometimes it's hard to separate yourself, because who are you going to be without this thing that you're holding on to? Who are you going to be when that's gone and it's just you, and now you have to find a new path? And that's what I just love about her. She's such a POV character. So overall, for me, I would give this movie probably about a 9 out of 10. I don't know why I wouldn't put that last one on there. I feel like there's something, because it's a little predictable. That's, I think, why I probably don't necessarily want to give it a 10 out of 10. I do think it's 9 out of 10 material, because they have good characters. They have a good story that I feel like I haven't heard a million times. It felt very original. It felt very fresh to me anyway. It felt like something that you would go see in the theater multiple times, because it's just such a fun movie and it's such a fun Halloween experience. And the thing is, the movie is not necessarily even a Halloween movie, but it has that spirit of Halloween, so it makes you want to watch it around that time. I love this movie. I adore it. I love the characters. I love the world. I love the fact that the human world looks very gray. It looks very gray, very depressing, very desolate. And then when you get down to the underworld, it's colorful and bright. Not bright necessarily, but it's very colorful. It's very detailed. And it's so interesting to see that a place that's technically devoid of life seems to have more life in it than the place where people are alive. And I love that contrast because a lot of the characters kind of have like a sour kind of look about them. And at the beginning of the movie, nobody looks happy. Everyone seems like they're just kind of like doing their thing. They're just doing what they got to do to survive. It's the day in, day out. We're just making it to make it. And I think that that's one of my favorite parts of the movie as well, because you get to see Victor go through his journey as well, and you get to see him reconcile with this world that he lives in. And he's full of anxiety, but I think that his adventure with Emily gives him a new lease on life, and it makes him appreciate it. And it's so fun going on that journey with him. I think that because they're the main characters, they really have like the biggest growth in the movie. Victoria doesn't necessarily have like an arc. She's just kind of trying to save Victor. I do think that they do a good job in showing us that Victoria is headstrong. She's not just your classic like damsel in distress. She's willing to get her hands dirty, if it not in a bad way, but you know, she's willing to get out there in the mud if it means saving the man that she is betrothed to, because she does come to love Victor, and I think she really respects him because he's different from her parents. And I think that they do a good job of highlighting that at certain moments. And I think Victoria could be a good main character if they made a couple of tweaks here and there and made her a little less. I don't want to say that Victoria was boring. I just think that Victoria was like classic. Like, Victoria is a character that I feel like I've probably seen in other media or something like that, because she has a personality, but I think she's also used to being so reserved and kind of like holding back. But baby, at a certain point, mama just starts reading. She's like, look, I'm not doing this with y'all. I'm finna walk off. You do whatever it is you're gonna do. But like I said, overall, I give the movie a 9 out of 10. I implore you to watch it. I think that it is on Amazon Prime. I actually bought the movie on Amazon Prime, so it's hard for me to tell sometimes like what's available and what's not if I buy it. So I think it's on Max. That used to be HBO Max as well. So you might want to try there, either Amazon Prime or Max. I think you'll be able to find it. And let me know what y'all think about it. You can find me anywhere at They Call Me Mr. G, at They Call Me Mr. _G on TikTok and Twitter, and at They Call Me Mr. G on Instagram. So after you listen to this, go watch the movie. Let me know what you think about it. Tweet me or hit me up on Instagram, hit me up on TikTok, whatever you want to do, and just let me know what you thought about it. So I hope that y'all have a great day, a great night, a great afternoon. Whenever you're listening to this, I hope that it's great. And I hope to see you and talk to you soon. Bye.
We need to go upstairs, to visit the land of the living.
Land of the living? Oh, my dear.
Please, Elder Goodney.
Now, why go up there when people are dying to get down here?